यज्जाग्रतो दूरमुदैति दैवं तदु सुप्तस्य तथैवैति दूरङ्गमं ज्योतिषां ज्योतिरेकम् तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु येन कर्माण्यपसो मनीषिणो यज्ञे कृण्वन्ति विदधेषु धीराः यदपूर्वं यक्षमन्तः प्रजानां तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु यत्प्रज्ञानमुत चेतो धृतिश्च यज्ज्योतिरन्तरमृतं प्रजासु यस्मान्नऋते किञ्चन कर्म क्रियते तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु येनेदं भूतं भुवनं भविष्यत् परिगृहीतममृतेन सर्वम् येन यज्ञस्तायते सप्तहोता तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु यस्मिन् ऋचः सामयजूगुंषि यस्मिन् प्रतिष्ठिता रथनाभाविवाराः यस्मिन् कश्चित्तगुं सर्वमोतं प्रजानान् तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु सुषारथिरश्वानि वयन्मनुष्यान्नेनीयते भीषुभिर्वाजिन इव हृत्प्रतिष्ठं यदजिरञ्जविष्ठं तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनिमायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यत्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So today we will wrap up the second mantra with the Nididhyasanam as we had promised last time, and then we will hopefully have enough time to go and introduce the mantra number 3. So let's do Nididhyasanam on mantra number 2. As you know, Yena karmani apasaha manishinaha yajne krinvanti vidatheshu dhiraha yad purvam yaksham antaf prajanam tanme mana Shiva Sankalpamastu. So we have already gone through the word meaning and the sentence meaning. I'll briefly highlight a couple of concepts that we will do the Nididhyasanam on. So the first line, Yena karmani apasaha manishinaha yagye kinvanti, etc., said that this is the method that the wise people adopt in order to mold your mind for your own good. So the first mantra was where you get acquainted with how your mind works. And the second mantra begins the process of saying, okay, now that you have observed how your mind works, and we will continue to do that, it's not only just in the first verse, but primarily in the first verse, it is an observation. Then in the second verse, it is how should it be molded and controlled? Not controlled is not the right word. Molded, not even manipulated, molded, led, managed. How the mind should be managed for your ultimate goal, which is not transitional happiness, but the very nature of happiness. So that's this first line. How do the wise people do? And then the second line, which we are now going to focus on in the Nididhyasanam, has to do with what are the key concepts that the wise people focus on, that you and I should focus on in order to manage our mind for our own good. So here, 3 words will be taken up. One is apurvam. So apurvam means which is already there. And in fact, something which is already there, doesn't have any prior non-existence or posterior non-existence, it is there, must be self-existing. This is a good thing to think about, and we will do so. Self-existing. So that is the real meaning of apurvam. Then the second word is yaksham. So we have already gone through the story through Kenopanishad, where Uma went to Indra and explained what yaksham really means. So yaksham really means here the power of your own Atma, which you impart to your mind. So your mind becomes very powerful. It has an enormous power. And so we will look into that part of it in the, what does it mean? What is the power? What is the capability? What is I think the Sanskrit word which is so beautiful is mahima. What is the mahima of Atma, yaksham? Grandeur. It's not just a power, but an amazing grandeur, mahima. That's the meaning of the word yaksham. And the third word is antaf prajanam. Yada purvam yaksham antaf prajanam tanme mana Shiva Sankalpamastu. So the third word is antaf prajanam. So antaf prajanam means each one of us has that capability. It's not only a few people, it's not the lucky or the unlucky, the rich or the poor, the Western people or the Eastern people. Every praja, you cannot be a praja until you have this capability. Antaf prajanam, it is there to be invoked. It is a part and parcel of our creation, not discovered yet. That's a different thing. Not discovered yet. In the, as you know, in the study of Ramayana, in Valmiki's Ramayana, there was a story where when Rama and his entire army was waiting at the southern tip of India to cross the bridge to Lanka to get Sita. And so Rama and his whole army were strategizing how best to do so. Everybody was helping and, etc. And there's also the army of Vanaras. So Vanara is a very interesting, it often is translated as monkeys. But in Valmiki's Ramayana, it is explained it is not monkeys. It is something, a very peculiar jati, which is called Vanara. So Vanara from Sanskrit comes from Nara, Nava Nara. Nara means a human being. And Vanara means it is difficult to know whether it is a human being or some other jati other than a human being. Like a very powerful animal. It looks like a human being. Talks like a human being, but it has some other qualities. So this is what is called Vanara. So one of the Vanaras was, of course, the disciple of Rama. And this disciple of Rama was just sitting there, and his name, as you know, is Hanuman, and was not talking very much. So one of the village elders said, Hanuman, do you know who you are? You know what your linealogy is? You know who's your father? Your father is the Lord of Vayu. He commands Vayu, the very wind. And that is what the family you belongs to. You can actually fly. Did you know that? He says, well, I've kind of heard about it. I've never really tried it. So he says, discover it. If you want to try it, just try it. So this is exactly what happened. And so once he really got up and understood what my power inside of me is, then they had concocted a very interesting way where his tail was set on fire, and he went on the top of the mount of the clouds and went very fast over to Lanka. And it's a very short distance. It's not hundreds of miles. It is less than 100 miles. I think it could be even like 50 miles or something like that. I forget. And then he, of course, set fire to Lanka, of Ravana's palaces and so on. That's the story. So in some way, the human beings are asked to be like Hanuman. Why? This is not a cock and bull story. We should understand that. It comes from this word yaksham. Antaf prajanam yaksham. Means we have certain power which is not invoked by us. We have it. We just don't invoke it. And we will see a small sample of that when we do the Nididhyasanam on this. A very small step, but a very important step. And I can tell you that I will share with you that this has been an important growth for me personally, to take this step, it's been very useful for me, and I'll explain that in the Nididhyasana. Okay. You know, many times there is a discussion, many times I get questions and from you. How do I make Vedanta practical in my life? I've sort of heard about this. You know, there's some, I can see some students who have already talked to me in the past. One student in particular I remember who was saying, and very meaningfully said, not foolishly, he said, you know, I've studied a lot of Upanishads with you. We have been studying all this. But now I don't know if I want to listen anymore to classes. I just want to practice it. I want to be practical about it. So this is the quest that all of us have. So even to be practical, one needs to know how to be practical. Because just by saying practical, it is not going to happen. Your mind and your behavior still does the same thing. And so we'll take a small step in this for practicality, based on these words. And the only other thing I will do before I begin the meditation is to suggest to you, if you remember at the very beginning we had said that let's first memorize these 6 mantras. Okay. Yat jagrato duramudaiti daivan. Just memorize all 6 of them, so that it really comes to you on demand. You just tell your mind, let's chant those, and it comes to you. And then I had suggested to you that even the chant itself is a blessing. It's a Vedic chant. It's a mantra, not just a shloka. And so it's very beneficial. But if you knew the meaning of it, then it enhances the utility of chanting tremendously. So in saying, knowing the meaning, so this is what I'm going to just now say. Because if you see a big mantra, we have lots of different words. Duram, Gamam, Jyotisham, Jyotihitan, etc. A lot of words. So when you are chanting and you are enjoying, it is not necessary, neither possible, nor necessary to know the meaning of every word or the whole sentence. What I do think is good and practical is for you to take a kernel of a couple of ideas, and when you chant that mantra, those ideas come to your mind. That's it. Just a few of them. Doesn't have to be the whole sentence. So, like example, what we are going to do now, if you just look at that, just a few kernels of thoughts that are very useful to you, I think you will find it very useful. So anyway, I just want to give you an introduction to the Nididhyasanam. Now let us do Nididhyasanam on Apurvam, Yaksham and Antaf Prajana. Okay. And just some very short steps of practicality. That's it. All right. Again, let me turn off these bright lights. This one and this one. Namaste astu Bhagavan Vishveshwaraya Mahadevaya Triambakaya Tripurantakaya Trikalagnikalaya Kalagnirudraya Neelakantaya Mrityunjayaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Shriman Mahadevaya Namaha. I meditate on the teaching about the truth about myself, which I had not previously known or explored. Ishvara, I meditate upon Yaksha, that you always are within me. It is a gift of Ishvara, and the one that I am endowed with, unaware of. This Yaksha is one which does not start. It is not manufactured. It is not created. It is already there. As my own self. It is self-existing. May I appreciate that fact. May I discover that amazing grandeur of the Yaksha. The Yaksha in the form of self-existence, meaning It is not created by anything, by my experiences, no. By my fate, no. It is already there as me, self-existing, self-aware. I am, I know. And there is no boundary to it. It is the form of inner freedom and inner joy. Not dependent on anything, not conditioned by anything, not limited by anything. That is the yaksha, which is a gift of Ishvara's own nature in me. Antaf prajanam, in every living being. It is there. How do I invoke this? How do I make this discovery real for myself? Are these just words? Here, our teachers have given a very small but a practical step for the invocation of this yaksha. I see in the process of experiencing my life I am faced with some obstacles. I want to do something in a single manner, but others may differ from me. I'm faced with not having my way. And I resist any obstacles. want to maintain my action because I think it is right. I need to observe this phenomena in my life. Why do I resist? It is because I feel I have certain rights. If I do not express my rights, then I will be ignored, and I will not be able to live the way I want to. I find disagreements, but I find that I need to push back. This is the situation that all of us find in our lives. Our acharyas ask us to observe this phenomena. My own internal resistance. I don't like it. I like this. I don't like that. Why should I do this? Our acharyas have suggested a small step to gain freedom from a sense of limitation. They suggest a very small step, but an enormously powerful step. Give in. Just like you have a mind, a person that you are resisting also has a mind. It is likely that the other person or other people that you interact with have not yet discovered the yaksha within them. Let it be. You go along with their mind. Don't resist. This is the important step in making Vedanta practical. Vedanta beneficial to yourself. Vedanta freeing you from a sense of limitation. we understand that you will even resist this idea. Why should I do this? I'm a human being with my own needs and aspirations, and I'm being asked to just give in. Why? What benefit does that have? This is what we have to discover. The acharyas say, invoke the yaksha in you. What does it mean? The yaksha, which is you, which is Paramatma, the nature of it is self-existing, self-awareness, self-aware. Infinite, no boundaries. When you resist something, when you resist people and what they want you to do, and you will see this as you start to look into this. This happens dozens of times during the day. What to do, what to wear, what to eat, where to go. You're constantly in a battle with others. And up until now, you had reasons to resist. But now, discover the joy of just giving in. Have your mind meet the other mind. What this does is invoke the inner freedom that you already have. Up to now, you did not discover this freedom. But as a student of Vedanta, you should know this is you, already free. Don't you see you're blocking this inner freedom by a constant habit of resisting? By resisting, you are manipulating your own sukha dukkha. I'm happy for a short time until the next conflict. It is a continuous battle. There is no need for it. Be smart about it. See the joy of not having silly desires. If there are some essential things that need to be done, we are not talking of that. Fine, do them. But observe for no reason the emergence of resistance in your life numerous times, conflicts, regrets, criticisms. All of those will disappear. This is the meaning of this second mantra. Yat apurvam yaksham antah prajanam tanme mana Shiva sankalpamastu. Hey mind, I want to manage and mold you. Up to now, you were misleading me, giving me a false ahankara, minus. I must do this. I have to do that. Why? I'm not going to listen to you anymore. I want you to focus on Shiva, which is the yaksha already existing in me. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, let's go to mantra number 3. Yat prajnanamuta cheto dhritischa yat jyotirantaramritam prajasu yasman narite kinchana karma kriyate tanme mana Shiva sankalpamastu. Yat prajnanam utachetaha dhritischa yat jyoti antaram amritam prajasu yasmat na rite kinchana karma kriyate tanme mana Shiva sankalpamastu. So again, the true meaning comes from discussion, not just a translation, but I will just translate it to begin with. So the English translation of this verse is, the mind, which is the cause of all specific and common knowledge, which is the very form of all courageous steps, which situated in the core of all beings illuminate their inner organs of perception, one that stays alive even after the death of the body, and without which no actions are possible. May that mind be fulfilled with the benevolent thoughts of Shiva. So this is the translation, which is a translation of the Hindi verse given by Swami Akhandananda. So he's actually added in all of these mantras, he's added a couple of things that may not be technically as part of the words, but he thinks that this is an important one. Like, for example, in the first one, he said, Paramatma, which knows past, future, and the present objects. So that is not there in the Sanskritam, but it is an important thing that he's added as part of unfolding the meaning of the one. So similarly here also, he has talked about the illuminating of the inner organs of perception. That is not there, but it is the meaning behind the word. So some kind of a unfolding of the meaning by the knowledgeable acharyas is acceptable. Okay, let's look at the word meanings first. So, first word is yat pragyanam. So this is an important word and very, really, when we do the meditation on this verse, this will become the fulcrum of our, just like the other ones are also, in the other mantras also. Here also, this becomes a very important one. Pragyanam. So here, Swami Akhandananda has given one, what I would say, a simple and beginning meaning of pragyanam. And then he has given a deeper and a more enduring meaning of pragyanam, and we'll do both of them. So let's look at the first one. So in pragyanam, he says, it's interesting, he says, yat pragyanam uta chetaha. So there are two words used, pragyanam and chetaha. And so Swami Akhandananda ji has placed these two words in their proper context of the meaning of this one. Pragyanam means, so this is what is called pratipatti. Pratipatti means the thoughts that occur to us, how I see the world, how I observe, how do I classify it, the thoughts that are created. This is called pratipatti. So he says that pratipatti can be divided into two main segments. So one is called samanya pratipatti and one is called vishesha pratipatti. Samanya pratipatti means a common knowledge, a common thought, common knowledge. And the vishesha pratipatti means specific knowledge. So here the examples could be, like for example, supposing you have a child who has, when he grows up, he understands that this is a dog. So the dog family becomes aware, he or she, the little child becomes aware of that. And the name is also given by the parents and saying, hey, look at that dog, this is a doggy. Hey, this is a doggy. Like that, they keep on repeating the word dog, doggy, so that the child also begins to understand, so this is doggy. Now, if the child sees a different kind of a dog, one which is much bigger than the other one, initially the child doesn't know what one is this. But the parent says, hey, look at that dog. So now after repetition of dog, 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 small dog, big dog, black dog, white dog, the child starts to understand there is something called dogness. There is something called, and when he sees another one, that he will say, hey, dog. The parents will be very happy. He's fully figured out the word dog. So this is what is called samanya pratipatti. Means this is the jati as a family. The kid is now familiar with it. He can say all these are whatever this animal that looks like it is a dog. But he doesn't know Vishesha Pratipatti. Vishesha Pratipatti means some particular aspect of the dog he doesn't know. Even I don't know. Because I see dogs, I know a few of them, but I find that especially in the US, and especially, I don't know, this wasn't the case when I came here 55 years, 60, I don't know, 64 when I came. I didn't see this many dogs. Oh my goodness. I think there are more dogs than people. I think so. You go to plains, there are dogs. You go to parks, there are dogs. Everybody has a dog and they're all walking them. Anyway, they're dogs, dogs, dogs. And I don't know which one is which. Which one is a German Shepherd, which one is an Alsatian, which is Chihuahua and all that. I have no idea. But you can know. There are people who are, I see them. They'll be walking down somewhere and then suddenly they will talk to everybody has a dog. So they're very interested to talk about, where do you get this dog from? Is it a pedigree? Or is it just, what kind of one is it? They have so much knowledge about their lifespan, their habits, their eating habits, whether they are loyal, we're not loyal. This is what is called Vishesha Pratipatti. So, in the very simple introduction, Swami, this is all from Akhandananda's book, by the way. I'm not making it up. This is all from him. So he says that one way to look at Pragyanam and Cheta, 2 words, is Cheta is Samanya Pratipatti and Pragyanam is Vishesha Pratipatti. And in fact, the Pragyanam is defined as Prakarshena Jnayate iti Pragyanam. Prakarshena Jnayate means the particular aspect that makes this dog a dog is known to me. This is Pragyanam. So he says that if you look at now, a mind, how is it that now we have the capability from our mind, yat pragyanam uta chetaha and dhritischa. So dhritis is another word, which is, I think he has translated that as courageous in some way, but I think in the explanation that he himself has given, Swami Akhandananda, he has talked about one that follows a particular path in a very, without veering from it, without going away from it. Dharma, the conduct of dharma, this must be right. This I have to do this. If you don't want to eat garlic, then you don't. If you are a vegetarian, you do not eat meat. So this you can even say would be kind of dhritischa. So this would be a good way to, I don't think I'm going to talk much about dhritischa, but I think he's talked a lot about this, but the basic idea about the word dhriti is you make up your mind and you do this. When I remember, I was born into my samskaras are vegetarian. In our house in Amritsar, there was no eggs, no meat, no fish, no nothing. My grandmother would not even allow anything to come in. But then I had a lot of health problems. So the doctor had recommended, because I used to live with my grandparents. My father and mother were far away, 1,500 miles away. And so the doctor had said that this guy he's got a lot of health problems. He doesn't get enough protein. You have to give him some meat. So I was instructed to go with my uncle to some meat shop and we'll have chicken and so on. So that happened at the age of, I don't know, about 10 or 12. And so I was given meat as a kind of like a supplement. And then I got used to it. When I went to college, I was non-vegetarian. When I came to this country, I was a non-vegetarian. I never eat beef, but I was a non-veg. Then when Swami Chinmayananji came, and we had a big satsang in our house, I still remember exactly where and what time. And then when he challenged me, I had a Sankalpa. From tomorrow on, I will not touch meat. I can have, I've gone back and forth on, I can have cakes and pastries with eggs in it, but I don't eat eggs. Although recently my blood sugar has been so high because I have to take some medicines, prednisone for some problem, that my doctor has recommended you better start eating eggs. So far I am resisting it. But I think I may, for a medicinal reason, I don't know, we'll see. But meat, fish, etc., no. So this is called dhriti. Dhriti means you've made up your mind and no amount of, I don't have any desire anymore. I just cannot even touch that. So this is called dhriti. But anyway, going back to pragyanam and chetaha, it means samanya jnanam and vishesha jnanam. Okay, so this is the introduction. And now comes the more advanced explanation of pragyanam. Okay, and if you recall, in the very beginning on the introduction to Vedanta, we had taken a few classes, remember? And we had talked about Pragyanam Brahma. I'm sure that many of you do remember that. Pragyanam Brahma. So this is the real, more deeper meaning of the word Pragyanam. Oh my gosh, it's already close to 9 o'clock. I think we did a very long meditation, so that took a lot of time. So, in this meaning of pragyanam, which is defined in Sanskritam as prakristam jnanam pragyanam. So there's a difference. So the two prefixes are different. One is prakarshena jnayate. Prakarshena means in detail. Right? In detail. So you just don't look at it as a dog, as I do, but there are people who they'll know exactly what kind of a dog it is, and they know exactly what the lifespan is, and all those kinds of things. This is called prakarshena jnayate, in detail. Here, the prefix is prakristam jnayate, prakristam jnanam, not prakristam jnayate, prakristam jnanam. Prakristam means something special about it. So it's not in detail. It's not as though you know when did it begin, and who's the mother, who's the father. It's something, there is a jnanam and there is prakrishta jnanam. That is called prajnana. What is this specialty that we should know about? Okay, so to illustrate that, Swami Akhandananda says, consider water, and water which is pure, something which has been when the snow melts. We are very lucky in Los Altos Hills. We get water from the Sierras, which is all snow melted water. It's very pure and it's very tasty. I've been very lucky because I was born in Amritsar, and Amritsar is the name. Amritsar means a pond which is where it is amritam. It is very, very pure. And really Amritsar water was, and now I think it must be coming from Himalayas or something, I don't know. Here also I find the Sierra water is very pure, very beautiful. Love the water here. So Swami Akhandananda says, start with a pure water, unadulterated, no impurities. But somewhere along the line, some dust, dirt, and other bacteria also come in and make the water non-pure. This is the example. So now if you wanted to purify it, then you would have to, it's not a very big deal. You figure out exactly what the impurities are. This is why you get purified water, you get distilled water and all that. Distilled water, by the way, is different than the pure melted water. Distilled water has, the melted water has some nutrients which the distilled water also takes away. So that's different. But you can take the impurities away from the water, and you can have, you have a muddy water, which it is water, but it's not transparent. You cannot see through it. So it has some dirt associated with it. Okay? So now we can say prajnanam is pure water. And what do you mean by pure water? It is the pure, not pure water, it is the pure jnanam. Pure jnanam. What do you mean by pure jnanam? Pure knowledge. What is the impurity of the knowledge? There are two impurities that are mixed up with the pure prajnanam that turns it into jnanam, not prajnanam. Two impurities. Just like two impurities means that supposing there are two impurities of the water. One is that it is very muddy, and the other one is that it is salty, let's say. So similarly, prajnanam has two, prajnanam is pure jnanam, but jnanam has two impurities that has turned prajnanam into jnanam. What are those two impurities? You can guess it, I'm sure. One is called this, and the other one is called me. These are the two impurities. So really speaking, in my life, I am dealing with impure jnanam all the time, impure prajnanam all the time. I'm just dealing with jnanam. And what type of jnanam? One is this knowledge, this sofa, this table, this wall, this person. So this person is also a knowledge, right? When you say this person, you say, who are you talking about? You know, this person, I know I'm talking about this, I know I'm talking about it. I know it, this person. So this is, in this sense, is an impurity. Why is it an impurity? We will see in a minute. Why do you call it an impurity? The other impurity is the drashta, the karta, the bhokta, the ahankara. I saw the person. You can say, which person are you talking about? Hey, I met a person yesterday. Oh, really? Who did you meet? You remember that friend of us that used to live with us in Los Gatos 20 years ago? I saw him yesterday. Oh, you saw him yesterday. And I'm not bluffing. I did see the person. So me seeing that person is one impurity. And to see that person as a vishaya, as a object, is another impurity. And both of them are tied with each other. And the mother of what you see is really the one who sees. You see yourself first as a limited person. And then the effect of the sense of limitation is you see different things. So here Swami Akhandananda says, it is as though the basic prajnanam, you see, that's the thing. Basic prajnanam never gets affected, but it lends itself to applicable jnanam. So you see this person. I saw that person. At that point, you are now associated with the thought of that person. Then you go see another person. So now you talk about somebody else, but your awareness is the same in both cases. I saw this person, I saw that person. Here I saw remains the same. So the jnanam remains the same, but the applicability of the jnanam depends upon what you are seeing. So prajnanam means a jnanam which is not been made into a particular knowledge. That is what is called impurity. And in the words of Vedanta, what happens is that Chaitanya, the Chaitanya Vastu, which is prajnanam, one which is in the form of pure awareness. Pure awareness means pure knowledge. I know. I know. So as you know, we've seen this before. I know is you. I know. And it is anadi. That is the apurvam. I know. And this I know, you cannot, do you know you can never not know? Never not know. You cannot turn it off, that I know. It is not something you can handle, not something you can objectify, it's not a piece that you can pick up and throw. It is you, I know. See this? And this is always remains pure. I know this person, I know that person, I know this thing, I know that thing. I know. This is prajnanam. Pure. Unadulterated. Be like pure water. But we are only dealing with adulterated jnana. We don't know how to purify it. We don't know that I am the pure water. I always see myself as an adulterated water. As a karta, bhokta. I am a seer of this, I am an experiencer of that. Those experiences are good, these experiences are bad. I'm only dealing with a transformation of my prajnanam into a version of it which is not pure. And so I introduce what is called jadata. Jadata means inertness into myself. Anyway, so we'll pick this up a little bit more in the next class, and this we will now then continue on with some of the other words of this mantra, and then we will complete the mantra number 3, and we'll do a short meditation at that time. So with that, I close the class today, and we'll resume it with mantra number 3 next week. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Shantikumar, 55 kilometers. My goodness, that is, it's just amazing how short that distance is. It is less from where I live to San Francisco, and I go there all the time. Wow. Anyway, good to see you all. So I think it might be interesting to do a Sankalpa for the new year, self-promise, to follow some of the practical steps we went through and try it. And first of all, be observant about when you resist, when your desires are not fulfilled. What do you do? And then try these recipes where you just give in and say, okay. And your mind initially will say, why are you giving in? You're right. That other person is wrong. It doesn't matter. Let the other person have it. And I tell you, you just start doing this and you find that your sense of limitation starts to diminish. And it's all predicated on the fact that you already are fullness. And so this is what would be called vairagya. So vairagya is not it's not a forced kind of a thing. It is a discovery of the viveka, that I am okay. Why do I need to resist? So I suggest that for the new year, you try it and you will see what a sense of freedom you will discover as part of that. Anyway. Okay, if there's no questions per se, I'll take your leave and hopefully we'll see you next week. Hari Om.